Hey y'all, welcome back for another episode of Candy Coated Shenanigans, Sour Patch Kid edition, the only way I know how to be. I am excited to share today. The month of May definitely has me all jacked up because this is not Make Money Make Sense. We will not be talking about money today. I will save that for the end of the month because next week is self-care, so I'm all out of order. But that's okay, right? A lot of good things to share. First and foremost, you're going to see me, number one, my hair look crazy. Y'all just going to accept this hair because I got a hair appointment on Tuesday. Okay, because your girl is going out. Fly me out. I'm out of here. Number two, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. To you, if you are a mom, or to your mom, to both of my mothers. Today feels like a fabulous day, so I'm just gonna glide and move in to today's energy. And today's topic is a bit deep. So this is me being extremely transparent with you and sharing some new things that I have experienced. I will be authentic and transparent, but there will be moments that you won't get all the information. And that's just because I'm still going through my own process for this. So I have to make sure that I'm very mindful of what I am giving and sharing and the things that I'm holding back to still work on. But once I work through them, I'm gonna share with you, okay? So today's discussion pertains to a healing session that I had on Friday, which was extremely amazing and extremely powerful. And to really get you to the point of the healing session, I gotta take you back a little bit. So first of all, let me tell y'all, healing is a verb. Okay, now I know it could be a noun. If you don't know verbs and nouns, that's okay, Google it. But healing is a verb. And not only is it that, healing is an action word. And it is an action word that takes time, energy, effort, at times money. It takes sometimes being alone to allow yourself to process. It takes cutting people off, accepting people in, and it looks so different for everyone. But one thing I can tell you is uniform for all of us is it takes action and it takes time. It does not happen overnight. And as I was taking a moment to write notes, two things popped up in my head. One is new and one is old. So I'm going to go through the first one, which is new. So when I was thinking about healing and how I would describe it to someone, like you think of like surgery, but surgery can be like extreme, especially if you hadn't experienced surgery, to really connect with, right? So the first thing that pops up in my head is, because I have plenty of them, is a tattoo, right? You go in and you get a tattoo done, right? Whatever. And most people choose to get tattoos, right? Unless you're forced. I've never been forced. All my tattoos have been chosen. So you go in and you get a tattoo done. And depending on where the tattoo is, it can, be an annoyance or it can hurt, or you could be screaming. Some people pass out. I never experienced that. But once you're finished getting the tattoo done, they put ointment on it and they cover it, right? And the initial covering is, one, to keep the moisture there, right? And two, to keep things from not coming in contact initially with your tattoo, right? So it can start the healing process. Now, if you are not a person that follows directions or reads or does anything, this is where things start to get a little crazy in the tattoo world. So I know, because I'm more of a get a tattoo in like that May, June, maybe July phase of life, which makes no sense to me because I love the water, right? So I know when I get a tattoo done, I can't go swimming for a couple weeks. I don't know if y'all know that, but I know that you are not supposed to go swimming in pools and lakes and oceans and all this other stuff when you have recently gotten a tattoo done. And sometimes what happens though is, okay, so if you've gotten a tattoo, you know this process, okay? You get the tattoo, it look fire, right? It look fresh. You be like, ooh, let me show this joint off, right? And then after a couple days, it start peeling and you be like, oh no, let me put this ointment on because this look ugly, right? And your skin is peeling and it's healing. And what people think happen is that when the peeling has stopped, that the skin is healed and you are free to go about your business. That is not true. That is not true, y'all. That's not true. I don't know where people get that from. It's not true. Research it if you do not believe me. When your skin is done peeling, your tattoo is still not healed. Now, if you are still not properly caring for it, for many weeks after, it is a possibility that an infection can happen, or discoloration can happen, or you will notice scarring happen. And it can leave what is not what you initially intended to be on your arm. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, it was healed. So what is the issue? Well, when I think of humans, and humans being us, when I think of us, a lot of times we think after those first couple of stages of the healing process, and we feel a little bit better, or it looks a little bit better, or when I go like this, it don't hurt as much as it used to, that I'm healed and I'm done and I'm free to go about my business. And that's not true. And going back to the tattoo, if you are not mindful or watchful, you may be going back to get things corrected because you did not do it properly or it wasn't done properly the first time. I have actually had scarring happen with a tattoo because the needle had went too deep. And not only did I have scarring done, that was when I found out from a tattoo artist that tattoos can take months to heal. They look healed on the surface, but underneath there are layers and layers of skin that are still healing. So when I went back because I had scarring, nobody would touch my arm for a year, an entire year. Because the guy was just like, I don't think it's healed yet. Like just the way it looks, it does not look healed. I'm not gonna work on it. So it was like a good year and a half when I finally made an appointment and I got it fixed, and it's fire now. I'm so glad. Like you almost, maybe there was a purpose in the scarring because the way it look now is, can't tell me nothing. But healing takes time. Even though on the surface it might look okay, it takes time. It takes action. It takes you being mindful. It takes a choice every day. Like that's what I am telling myself right now in this season. Every single day I wake up, I choose to. Every single day I wake up, I'm going to. Because if I don't, it becomes so easy to hide or to bury it. And then it surfaces again. And I don't know about y'all, but I am tired of the same shit surfacing again, okay? Like all I can do is speak for myself, but I am tired of it. I be like, and I have conversations with other people, with my therapist, with God, like, bro, why is this coming up again? And one of the things, and I shared this before, the reason why it's coming up again is because I passed the test, but I didn't pass with flying colors. So there's some things that I need to work on now to better what's coming in the future. Just a thought, I'm gonna tell you that. So another thing that popped into my mind too, though, with it, because I'm strategic, okay? Create a plan of action, execute plan of action, move on to the next thing. Right? So that is how I work in all aspects, right? So we can build an empire, we can get it done. It doesn't work so well on the emotional side, but I'm working through that, right? I'm working through feeling my feelings, allowing them to be what they are. But in those moments of being strategic and wanting a plan to execute, I have a lot of questions in that space, right? Like, I did this, I should be here. I did this, I should be healed. I should be healed. I should be healed is what I be saying to God. And I think it was TD Jakes, and I think I've shared this before, but this will forever stick in my mind. It is forever applicable, especially if you like your buddy, not your booty, your body. Let me get back over here. If you like your body rubbed on in like the massage type aspect. So I love massages. I am trying to book a massage right now I'm trying to do a whole spa weekend, but that's a whole different story. But I love massages. I love the pressure of them. I love the way my body relaxes with them. It's a thing. But if you have ever gotten a deep tissue massage or high pressure type massages, you will know there is pain in that massage, okay? It's not all just like, ooh, touch on my body. It'd be like, ooh, whoa, what is that connected to, and why it feel like that, right? So I remember going to get a massage, and I'm just going to be transparent. Okay, so it was an hour massage, and no lie, this girl massaged my butt for 45 minutes, right? And you're probably thinking like, Ruby, you allowed a girl to massage your butt for 45 minutes? Yeah, it was an amazing 45 minutes. And let me tell you why. There are so many things in connection to your glutes and your bum and all this other stuff. And I never knew that, right? I just assumed like we just walk. I don't know. I wasn't into like all the muscles, all the connections, whatever. I thought I was going to be a doctor, but I'm not into that. So that's really funny. But I am a doctor. Anyways, so through the process of it though, she would massage, right? And it would like, you would feel some pressure and you'd be like, ooh. And then she would work through that muscle area, right? And then she would go deeper. And now you're at the next layer, right? And it would hurt for a little bit, but then it would feel good. And then she would go deeper, right? And each time she went deeper, it hurt. But it wasn't the same hurt that it would have been if she would have just started that deep, right? If she would have started that deep, I would have jumped up off the table and probably tried to swing on her, because why you touching me like that, bro? You don't handle me like that. But she literally worked through the layers to get to the next layer, to get to the next layer. So it was painful, but not as painful as it would have been if she would have just dove right in. And healing is the same way. So I remember asking God, this had to be like 3 years ago, maybe. I remember asking God, like, why is this coming up again? Why am I dealing with this still? Like, I dealt with this. I did the work. I thought I scored like a B, and I'm good on it. And I listened to a message by TD Jakes, and he talked about the process of healing. And I think he talked more on surgery. He might have said massage, but something connected his message with me getting a massage and me remembering the process of her working layer by layer. And that is how God has us and wants us to work through our healing, layer by layer. If we ripped it all off or we dug right in, the immense amount of pain you would feel would leave you hiding and you wouldn't work on any of it. So he had you go piece by piece, situation by situation. What did they say? How do you finish a meal? One bite at a time. I think they say, how do you eat an elephant? That's weird. But one bite at a time, right? So that is what healing is. One component at a time. And it's allowing yourself the love, the understanding, and the grace through the process that will get you to the finish line. Okay. And I don't say this from a place of just being like, everything is perfect now. I went through my entire healing journey and it's over and I'm healed and I'm this. Like, I don't say that from that place. Like I expressed in the beginning, there were going to be things I shared and there were going to be things I'm not going to share because I'm still in the journey, y'all. And you have to protect yourself in the journey. You have to know who is around you that you can share different thoughts, pieces, experiences, and hurts that are not going to be detrimental to you, that are not going to be harmful, that are not going to hinder your process. And though I love y'all, this is social media. I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. So I share to try to help as many people as possible. And I will continue to share as I'm getting beyond certain points. So that's why I'm here today, because I do feel like I still have much work to do, but there are definitely things I have learned that I think will be helpful to other people. And that's why I'm doing this. So now we are going to go into this healing session that I had. So let me first say, I have done an exercise called eliminating blocks before with now a friend of mine. Back then she was just my coach and I was getting to know her. That was very powerful. It dealt with trauma points, but I was in a different place. So sharing for me is not always easy, and it depends on comfort, and depending on how I'm led, I can share without fully sharing, okay? So I have that, and I have been in therapy, I want to say 1.5 years, which has been, well, I've been physically in therapy 1.5 years. Before that, I was doing like a virtual therapy for like maybe 6 months. If you're not comfortable sitting in front of someone, you can definitely do virtual therapies. That might be helpful, but it wasn't giving me fully what I needed and it was really expensive. So I'm still in therapy 1.5 years. My therapist is bomb.com. I will leave the different contact components in the bio of this information because I think it's important for us to share community of things that we have found helpful. Everything may not work for you, but if you can find one thing that works out of something I shared, then my work is good, okay? So I've been in therapy for about 1.5 years. And then I did a healing session. She is not connected to the other two women that I know. Who knows? Maybe she is. So it's gonna sound crazy, y'all, but I'm just gonna transparent. So I had, during COVID, I think a lot of us got addicted to TikTok. Okay, and if you didn't, congratulations, I did. So through my journey on TikTok, some things have been an emotional roller coaster, right? High moments, low moments, cry moments, laugh moments. Right now, I am not really on social media. I post my videos and I burn it up, right? Just taking some time for me. But the last couple of months, I had been following, I saw this video and it dealt with trauma and womb healing, right? And I was like, okay. And I saw the video and it, if you watch TikTok at all, the videos are only a minute. So you really got to be pop locking and dropping for me to catch my attention, right? Because you just scroll, right? And I don't usually watch like the mental health side, I would say. Like I would usually scroll through it. But this video caught my attention and it was a healer and a woman, and she was taking her through this journey. And I thought like, wow. So I clicked on her page and I think I have watched all of the videos she had on her page and the things she has on YouTube as well. Stalkerish. And I watched it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna book a session, right? And I would go to the website and then I didn't book. And I did this like 3 or 4 times. And then last weekend, I was watching Ayana, however you say her name, fix my life, right? And I was watching it for hours. People just, the amount of issues people have and things they have to work through. And this woman, of all people, popped up in my head. Now, like I said, I'm on a break from social media. So I was like, I'm gonna go right on TikTok. I just need to find her page and I'm gonna do this. So go on TikTok, find her page, and I'm like scrolling through. I can't find the session that I'm trying to book. So I'm thinking, oh, she don't do them no more, right? So they email me instantly back. I book a session. Now she is in North Carolina. And if you know, I'm Niagara Falls, Buffalo area. And I was like, I'm not flying to North Carolina, but they do Zoom meetings, so it's perfect. And it's like a 2-hour session and it tells you all the things to prepare and blah, blah, blah. You had to fill out a questionnaire, which I was very open and honest with. So I was glad for that because we worked through a lot. And I did my session and I ain't healed, y'all. I think that's what you thought I was gonna say. I did this session and I'm healed. No. Let me rewind though. I did the session and I finally felt open to some of the processes of healing. So the reason why I did the session, and I don't know how many of y'all self-reflect. I do a lot of self-reflection. And I know when something's gotten stagnant with me, right, internally. I know when someone else will be like, oh, you're doing good. And I look like I'm doing good to y'all because I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling. But if I was to make motion happen here, I wouldn't be doing good. You would see the struggle. So I can hide from you. Two people I cannot hide from is myself, because I reflect too much, and God. And so I knew I was at a place where I was not moving. I was not doing anything. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I know I have purpose on my life. I know there are things that I need to do to help others. And another thing, and I'll share it, I'll insert it in, is a little thing that I had written. But I know that other people's healing is connected to me getting to the finish line. And I can't half-ass do it, right? You can only take somebody as far as you've been. And then you have to allow them to continue on by themselves, or you leave them to figure it out. But I want to go through the full journey because I want to take somebody all the way. I don't want to bring you halfway and then tell you, well, this is where it stops because this is all I've done. No, that's not acceptable for me. Okay. For me to give to someone else, that is not acceptable, right? I execute things. I'm strategic. We are going to get this done. But for we to get it done, I need to first get it done. And that's why I went to her, because I knew that I was stagnant. I knew I needed someone to kind of pull and push me to give more than what I was giving, to deal with more than what I had already dealt with. So we went through my session, and it was a beautiful, powerful, releasing session. And I mean releasing of physical components like tears and emotional things, whether it was me crying out, whether it was me releasing myself from certain ages that I was stuck in mentally, like your inner child components. But it was exactly what I needed right then and there. And she had a way of politely calling me out. And so I'm going to share some of the call out components, because I think we need to call ourselves out in some of these areas. And I will also put her information below if you want to just check her out. If it's something for you, okay. If it's not, okay. I don't know what it could mean for your life. I know what it meant for mine. And I'll share these things, and then I will let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Okay. So some of the things she said to me that were drop dead, boom, But she says it so gracefully and she's so nice. So, you know, when you have grace like that, that's like, you can say a lot of things that if you didn't, you wouldn't be saying it to me. But this is what she said. She said to me to stop showing up from a victim standpoint and show up as a victor, right? And that stood out to me because there are times that when I show up before certain people, I go back to being that little kid that's feelings were hurt, that little kid that voice was silenced, the little kid that was left behind. And as much as it's sometimes hard to believe, like that's the victim side. I need to be showing up not as 7-year-old Ruby, who was sweet and precious and does not understand how this could be what y'all did to her, but I need to show up as 33-year-old Dr. Harris. Play with me if you want to, okay? Not cussing people out, but just standing in who I am now, being grounded in who I am now. I am strong. And I protect myself. I protect that little girl and I protect the grown woman that I am now. And look, when I get older, I'll be protecting all of the other components as you look down as well. So it's looking at little Ruby and saying, boo, I got this. I got us. They can't do what they once did. That's over. So you just come and stand behind me and I got this, right? And I had heard that before, but the way she said it in reference to me showing up as a victim really hit me because I don't play victim, right? That's not the role that I walk in, okay? She also said this, which was powerful. She said, identify the blessing in the trauma. Now, that is going to be very difficult for some people, depending on where, my hair is crazy, depending on where you are in the healing journey. So I don't say that from, I'm just beginning the healing process, let me find the blessing in my trauma. Because you're not going to identify it. Not at that beginning stage. At the beginning stage, just be glad you're working to heal from the trauma. But for where I am, and let me rewind in saying that I feel like the true components of my healing journey started when I was 29. That's 4 years ago, y'all. It's about to be 5. Get out my business though. That is a solid 4 years ago. Okay? 4 years, and I am still dealing with some of the stuff I was dealing with 4 years ago. Not all of it, but some of it for sure. So when I say recognize the blessing in the trauma, I can say that 4 years later. If you would have said that to me when I first started dealing with my trauma, when I first started on the I want to be healed and whole process, I would have looked at you like you were crazy and I'd have told you to get out my face. And I would have said it a lot more colorful than what I just said it right now, because your girl done came a mighty long way. So if you're in the beginning stages, just remember that nugget, because you'll hit a point where you're ready to kind of look at it that way, right? So in the midst of that, what I wrote down is abandonment, because that is part of my trauma, abandonment. Abandonment gave me resilience and self-motivation. Okay. There are key characteristics and traits that I gained through abandonment, right? Sometimes we get so stuck in the pain and the victim component that we can't see them. And that's okay. Work through your stuff. But there will come a time where you will be able to identify them. And when you can identify them, stand up and identify them, right? I am resilient as hell, okay? Sometimes I feel like too resilient. And I am self-motivated beyond belief. I had to be for the little me. And then as I got older, I thrived in that, right? I finished a whole PhD program that half the people that was around me was like, why are you even doing this? But I did it for myself, right? And don't think I didn't say I did it by myself. I did it for myself. I had people around me that gave me love, support, time, energy, and effort. So they helped me get to the finish line for sure. But I did it for myself. But the same things that helped me to thrive, I then hit a point where they were suffocating me, right? I literally could not breathe in facing these components like abandonment and facing my anger and all the resentment that built up. And it was like a tornado came into my life and knocked the entire wind out of me. It was really, I can't even describe the way the feelings hit me from nowhere. There's some feelings I didn't even know were buried so deep, and I don't know fully what was the last. I know some components with me dealing with stuff with my parents, but there was something that literally clicked that box open, and once it opened, it was too large for me to put the lid on and put it back in. And that was when I was like, oh, you need help. Okay. And this is not just a you thing. And this is not just a let me pray to God thing. Like, yes, I prayed to God, but I needed help. And help sometimes comes from outer forms, from therapy and stuff like that. Like, definitely pray to God, but God also gives you resources. So don't be naive. Let me say that. Do not be naive. So it was suffocating, and I'm at a point where it's just like, I can't let this hold me no more, right? Like, you don't make me warm and fuzzy when you hold me at night. You make me cry, and you make me angry, and you make me want to knock the crap out of people or do something worse to people. So I have to work through that as well as my anger. She also said that I have to choose to show up in a different way, which was really big for me, right? Because I have been on this healing journey, as I said, for a while. And there are times where, many times, where as I work through this process, that I believe somebody else is supposed to come before me different. Like, I done did this work, I done prayed to God, so my next encounter with this person is going to be different. And I go, and it's the same stuff. And I leave angry, okay? I leave angry as hell because I be like, I thought it was going to be different. I thought they were going to be different, which is a really confused aspect because the person that is going through the work is me. So if anybody's supposed to show up different, it is me. And I wasn't. I would show up the same person that you use, the same person that you talk down to. That same person would show up, and I would be looking like, but why aren't y'all handling me different? Because I haven't shown up different. But when I show up different, you're going to handle me different because you ain't going to have a choice but to handle me different, or I'm going to handle the situation by leaving it, right? So we have to identify that we are the people that are doing the work. We are the people that have to be different. We are the people that make the choice if that person can stay or we need to leave it alone because it's not adding value to our life. Not them. Not them. Thinking it's them actually allows them to have too much control because it becomes like a roller coaster. And she used the word roller coaster, and I don't think she knew how powerful that was for me. I had a situation and I told my best friend, Kenny, I love Kendra. I told my best friend that I'm getting off this roller coaster ride. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm getting off this roller coaster ride. And there will be times that you will look at someone and you can say it beautifully. I'm getting off this roller coaster ride. I don't like the ride. So we can both get off and try to build something that is just a little bit smoother, a little bit more beneficial for the two of us. Or you can stay on and I'm getting off and just know that I love you from a distance, but I'm not getting back on this ride with you. Okay? And that is how I feel, okay? I'm not getting back on a couple rides with people, and not from a mean place, but just from a peaceful place. Like, I'm not getting on that ride. I don't fit no more. I don't like roller coasters the way I used to. I like thrill, but not that, baby. She also said, I am the key player in every story of my life. Okay? My life surrounds around me. No, just kidding, y'all. But you are the key player, right? You allow the narrative to be written. And your actions will dictate the words that get written on a piece of paper. Be mindful of the power you hold. That goes back to stop being the victim and show up as a victor. There is a lot of your healing that you control. You just need to tap into it. You need to be ready for it too, because it's work. But you need to be able to tap into it. And one thing, because y'all know, I said I'm strategic. You give me this, I'm going to give this. You give me this, I'm going to give this. And I said to her, like, okay, so I'm not really into the whole feelings thing because I can't touch them. I can't be like, this is where I was and now this is where I'm like, how do you measure that you're going through the process the proper way? And something that popped out to me was journaling, writing about different things. So as you encounter that person or those people or your family or your job, take a moment to take a note. How did you feel? How did you handle it? Then when they pop up again, how did you feel? How did you handle it? Then when they pop up again, how did you feel? How did you handle it? And then you will have moments in time with specific situations that once may have been painful, once may have been a trauma component for you, that is now something that you can look back and be like, yo, this girl is not the same girl 2 years ago. Congratulations. And hopefully that helps. I'm excited to do that. I feel like I'm gonna be doing a lot, but I'm excited to do that and share in the process as I go through. So I will keep y'all updated on that. The last thing she said to me, one of the last things, was about me bringing whole life into this world. And for anyone who has not watched past videos, or maybe I didn't mention it in this video, I had made a promise to myself at 29. I just turned 29 years old. I was in California. I was on the phone. No, I was 28. It was like the day before my birthday. I was on the phone with my friend Shabria, and we were talking about my father, and when I came home that I needed to visit him. And that was major for me because I hadn't seen him in years. And I decided in that moment or near that moment that I was not going to bring children into the world until I dealt with my own childhood trauma. And I said that, number one, children are so precious to me. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think my feeling of children is a little bit different. And I think it is because of things that I remember from my childhood that I just kind of treat them a little bit different, right? Or protect them a little bit differently, right? Because I know some of the harm of the world. And I don't want them to feel that. I want kids to be as innocent as long as possible, to have a joy for life and to learn and to feel loved and to be wanted, right? So I just love children. Now it don't always show when it's like my own nieces and nephews, because they be doing too much. I'll be like, sit down, right? But they love me, and I love children deep and deep. So one thing I had said that I would not bring children into the world till I dealt with my own childhood trauma. And the reason for that is because I feel like the things that are within you get birthed into your children, right? The things within my womb in which I would carry my child then go into my child and is birthed out into them. That is just the way my mind visualizes it. And this is something I will not birth into my children. I just won't. And for some people would say like, Ruby, we know you would never abandon your child. Ruby, we know you would love your child. Yes, those are two things that I 100% believe, and God willing, I will bring children into the world and they will not know some of the pains of their mother. They will have their own stuff they got to deal with, but they won't be living my pains. But I think what we have to realize is when we don't deal with our trauma, that trauma manifests in other ways in our kids, right? So for me, abandonment is not an option, right? The only abandonment that I see is God taking me from this world. That's it. That's all I got for you. But what can happen because I have not dealt with my own trauma is instead of me abandoning my child, I am overbearing. And I don't allow them to experience life, and I do not allow them to breathe, and I do not allow them to be them, that I become very controlling. Like, instead of me abandoning and leaving you, I'm suffocating you because I'm holding you so tight. Now, everybody is going to have their own thought on that, but those both hurt. Okay? Someone controlling every moment of your life hurts just as much as being abandoned. Now, we may not want to accept that. You may not be at a place where you can connect those dots, but sometimes we don't want to be our parents so bad that we are the extreme opposite, which still has an impact on our children and not always a positive one. And I already got control issues. Listen, self-reflection, honesty. I already have things that I know are the opposite component. So I just want to bring forth whole, healed, loved, pure-hearted energy. And to do that, I have to be whole, healed, loved, and pure-hearted. And so that is something that drives me to become the best me, right? Beyond my purpose in the world, it's my purpose in motherhood, of what I am supposed to birth. And I want to birth something that is whole and pure. But to do it, I have to be those things. I literally will push out my womb what it is that I want birth into the world. So really think about what you want birth into the world and what you birth and put into your children as well. I know this is long, it's really deep. I'm glad that I was able to just share. Everybody's not in a place of sharing. If this resonated with you, I'm glad I could help. If this was just you being my friend and watching my video, kudos to you. And if you know somebody that this could help, share it with them. I'm transparent for myself because this helps me, but I'm also transparent for y'all because I want to help you too. Happy Mother's Day. Have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy whatever the weather is giving us because it still don't feel like May weather. I will see y'all again next weekend. And well, yeah, I'm going to post on Monday. It won't be Sunday. I'm going to post it on Monday because I am literally going to do self-care multiple days. You'll catch little snippets of different things. So I really want to give y'all all that there is for me to offer. In reference to that is lit. Okay. Y'all ain't even ready. I ain't ready. I need to sleep for the next couple of days for this stuff. But thank you for tuning in. I will see you next weekend. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Bye.